What's up, guys? Barely made it in. It is 11:53. It's still a.m. It is still morning. I know it's not morning after my run morning, but it is still morning. What a crazy day it has been. I'm super excited to talk to you guys just for a few minutes today, sharing more about life and running and all the good things. So today is all about becoming a runner dad. So I shared a story last night about when Paisley came home from school yesterday. We talked about what she did at school, and she said they went girl, boy, girl, boy, girl, boy, and that they were racing. And she told her teacher that her daddy taught her how to run. And my little dad heart burst into happy tears and made me feel warm and fuzzy inside. So it got me thinking about running and being a dad and kind of this adventure that parenthood has been in just the few short years that I've been a dad. Kind of comparing it to running and how running is kind of its own adventure. But I wanted to share a couple stories that happened before my kids were even born. So the first one is all about how my wife actually told me that we were pregnant. So she picked me up from school that day, and we got home. She told me to go check the mail, and she had made this cute little sign and everything and walked in. I walked in with the mail, and she held this sign, and it said, "Congrats, you're in the race to be a daddy," and said due April 2016. Which I was so excited. I will never forget that moment. Um, the very second thought I had was, wait a minute, something else is supposed to be happening April 2016. So in 2015, I qualified for the Boston Marathon and trained really hard, ran the race I needed to run, got my BQ, and the plan was to run Boston in 2016. And it's kind of interesting. At some point after that, Natalie and I were talking, and she said, "Well, what happens if you're ever in a big race and you have to either choose the race or your family? What comes first?" And I said, "Well, yeah, family's always coming first." And it actually came to be. So Paisley was supposed to be born April 20th. And if you're a big time runner or a marathoner, Boston Marathon usually floats around that same time. And Boston Marathon, I believe, was like the 17th or 18th. So basically the same week that Paisley was born. And, I had my choice. Well, do I go to Boston and potentially miss the birth of my first, or do get Boston and Boston will come later and, be my wife and be there for my family? And of course, I always say it was the easiest hard decision I ever had to make because, yeah, it was hard turning down or missing Boston. I was registered. I mean, everything was good to go. That was hard, but I will never regret that decision because holding my daughter for the first time, and you parents that have kids, you know this feeling. It's something incredible. It's a feeling that you'll never forget. And so that was an exciting time in my runner life. And that was when I officially knew that I was now a runner dad. Um, the second story is actually before we even told anyone that we were expecting. And I think I was at a cross country meet or I was at a cross country practice. So I was down here visiting, and my best friend and I were talking, and his dad was there. And I don't know if Natalie knows this story. Maybe she does. But we were talking, and I said, "Oh, Natalie's not feeling too good today." And my best friend, JJ, if you're watching this, JJ, you're awesome. Congrats on getting engaged. He turned and he looked at me and he said, "What do you mean she's not feeling good?" And I like, "Well, she's just not feeling good." He goes, "Oh, congrats." I'm like, "What do you mean congrats?" He's like, "Oh, no, you're going to be a dad." I'm like, what are you talking about?" He's like, "Yeah, she's not feeling good because she's pregnant. You're going to be a dad." And I had not told anyone at this point. So technically, my best friend JJ was the very first person to know that I was going to be a runner dad. But yeah, so that's my little spiel this morning. It's still morning, so I'm going to wrap things up. But I hope you guys have a great day today. If you are in the path of any of these storms or hurricanes or fires, be safe, make good decisions. Remember, your family always comes first. And we'll see you guys later. Have a good one.